In the case of Abu Zubaydah, did you feel he was broken emotionally, that he had felt he'd lost the battle?
Yes. Yes, I think he did feel that way. Okay. And in the end, it's funny, a former colleague of mine asked him during a conversation one day, what would you do if we decided to let you go one day? And he said, I would kill every American and Jew I could get my hands on. And he said, it's nothing personal. You're a nice guy, but this is who I am.
Did you feel comfortable with the techniques?
Frankly, no. And I elected to forgo the training. I was asked if I wanted to be trained in the enhanced techniques, and I sought the counsel of a senior agency officer, who's still an agency officer. And I said, what would you do in my situation? And he said, frankly, I think it's a slippery slope. An accident's going to happen, and I wouldn't do it. And so I declined.
So you did not go through the training?
I did not.
Have you seen waterboarding?
We waterboarded each other in the beginning to see what it felt like. And it's a wholly unpleasant experience.
What is it like?
You feel like you're choking or drowning.
And are you literally upside down, or?
You're on your back with your feet at a slight incline. There's some cellophane or material over your mouth, and then they pour water on this cellophane. You can't breathe, and it feels like the water is going down your throat, and then you begin choking. It induces the gag reflex.
But the water's not actually going into your mouth?
No.
Or through your nostrils?
No. It just
this,
feels like it is.
It feels like it is because of the pressure onto the cellophane.
Correct.
Like a saran wrap kind of thing.
That's right.
And how long did you last?
About 5 seconds.
Really? Would
Yeah.
you call it torture?
You know, at the time, no. At the time, I thought this was something that we really needed to do. I had heard stories of captured German prisoners from the Second World War playing chess with their interrogators. And over the course of many weeks and months of playing chess, they developed a rapport, and the German ended up giving information. Al-Qaeda is not like a World War II German POW. It's a different world. These guys hate us more than they love life. And so you're not going to convince them that because you're a nice guy and they can trust you and they have a rapport with you, that they're going to confess and give you their operations. It's different.
You're not going to be able to slowly seduce them to talk?
Not these guys. And at the time, I felt that waterboarding was something that we needed to do. And as time has passed, and as September 11th has moved farther and farther back into history, I think I've changed my mind. And I think that waterboarding is probably something that we shouldn't be in the business of doing.
Why do you say that now?
Because we're Americans and we're better than that.
But at the time, you didn't feel that way.
At the time, I was so angry, and I wanted so much to help disrupt future attacks on the United States that I felt it was the only thing we could do.
And with Zubaydah, you think that was successful?
It was.
And we have reported that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was also waterboarded.
I was out of it by then, but it's my understanding that he was also waterboarded.
But those were really the only two?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
And bottom line, as you sit here now, do you think that was worth it?
Yes.
Did it compromise American principles, or did it save American lives, or both?
I think both. It may have compromised our principles, at least in the short term. And I think it's good that we're having a national debate about this. We should be debating this, and Congress should be talking about it, because I think as a country, we have to decide if this is something that we want to do as a matter of policy. I'm not saying now that we should, but at the very least, we should be talking about it. It shouldn't be secret. It should be out there as part of the national debate.
It's been revealed now that the CIA had tapes of the interrogation underway. Were you involved in the taping process?
No. In fact, I first learned about it in the press yesterday.
You did not see cameras?
We had cameras everywhere, but it was our understanding at the time that they were closed-circuit cameras so that other interrogators and medical personnel and security officers could watch the interviews taking place.
You didn't see it being recorded anywhere?
No, I never saw it being recorded.
And now that you know it was recorded and the tapes were destroyed afterwards, what do you make of that?
I'm disappointed, frankly. I understand that the agency's explanation was they wanted to make sure that everything was being done legally and within the guidelines that the organization had set forth. But it makes me wonder instead if they simply didn't trust the interrogators and if they wanted to catch somebody doing something that was unauthorized. So frankly, I'm a little disappointed that they didn't have that trust in us, having already been polygraphed, having undergone, not me, but other interrogators having undergone the training. They still didn't trust us enough to let us do our jobs.
You never saw tapes coming out of a machine or being sent off to Washington?
No, never saw tapes.
And never reviewed them when you were back in Washington?
No, never heard about them even.
Really? So they were very closely held.
Very closely held.
Should they have been destroyed, do you think?
I think not. I think they're a matter of historical record, at least within the agency. They may have some legal import, and they probably should not have been destroyed.